Tim Tebow joining us from the State Fair of Texas ahead of the Red River Rivalry. But Tim, I want to start with Ohio State versus Oregon. What have you seen from new Buckeyes quarterback Will Howard to potentially get him ready to be in this spot?
Well, I think he's been handling this season with a lot of patience, not a lot of pressure. And there's been a lot of pressure thrown on him, but he's not playing feeling that pressure. He is very calm. He is very cool. He is very collected. And you should be. When you have Jeremiah Smith and Emeka and G. Scott and Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, and oh, by the way, your play caller's Chip Kelly. But he has been so calm, cool, and collected. And I love the way that he has just been really taking what the defense gives him. And I know we throw that around as a catchphrase, but that's so hard to do when everybody's expecting you to just go after the big play. But he's not. He has been patient. You see 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. They're not even all his fault, and also 4 more rushing. He is playing with such a calm, such a patience, letting the big play show up. And when he gets one-on-one with Jeremiah Emeka, then he's letting it rip. But when they're playing off soft coverage, he's willing to be patient, and that is so hard for a defense to stop.
You said the patience and the poise was there 4 years at Kansas State. In those 4 years, he only played one AP top 5 opponent in the 4 years. He gets another one today. All right, down to where you're at in the deep part of Texas. Last year against the Sooners, Quinn Ewers, 2 interceptions, sacked 5 times. How can OU get the better of him again this afternoon?
Well, I think it really starts by tackling in space. This defense has been so good this year. Even in their loss to Tennessee, they were fantastic. And it really starts by their pressure and tackling in space. Because what Texas does so well offensively is they give you so many looks. There's so many RPOs. There's so many counters. There are so many plays to the wide side of the field where they're getting it to guys in space. What a defense has to do, like Oklahoma, you got to tackle when you have those one-on-one opportunities. Because what Steve Sark is doing offensively, I think it's the best in football. I think what Steve Sarkisian is as a play caller to college football is what Kyle Shanahan is with the 49ers to the NFL. He's doing such a good job. So when you got those great play calls, you have to tackle in space, and you have to put Quinn Ewers in a 3rd and long. Now they're back on their heels. They're not able to just keep dialing up these great play calls. You got to start by tackling in space.
It's his first game back from injury, so he might be a little rusty in the early goings. That being said, we saw what Arch Manning was able to manufacture. They didn't miss a beat. So, Tim, in your eyes, if you see Quinn maybe be a little rusty, maybe start a little slow, is the hook quick to get Arch Manning in there?
Well, listen, I think Arch has done an amazing job. I think he is a top 25, top 30 quarterback in college football, even in only a little bit of time, only starting a couple of games. He is doing a great job. But I also think it's so important that you have to be clear. Quinn Ewers is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. You could make an argument that he is the best quarterback in the country. What he did at the Big House against Michigan, he led his team to the playoff last year. I think that no matter what happens today, he has to be your guy. I think you have to instill that confidence in him to the entire team, to the entire fan base, that he has to be your guy. Sure. Arch is going to be the guy, and he is going to be great. I think he's going to be a superstar. But today, that team has to be led by Quinn Ewers.
There's no qualms about it down there in Austin. They have done their full support behind Quinn Ewers, rightfully so. All right, last one for you, 7 Eastern. Your Gators going up against Tennessee. What are some of the Vols' biggest issues right now, Tim?
Well, listen, this team started so hot non-conference. They were dominating 639 yards per game. But in conference, yeah, you cut that by 300, okay? That's not the same team that's been playing the last few weeks. And they're just not on the same page. Look at this, 3rd and 11. We call it money down. Guess what? This is not money. It's pass protection. All your receivers are blocking. What is Nico supposed to do? You have to be on the same page. All right, another opportunity. Start a 2-minute drill. You have a bubble up to the top. He looks at it, doesn't like it, looks to the boundary. What are we doing? Guys are just standing there and blocking. How are you supposed to be successful when your team's not on the same page? This is an offense that has so many gifts and abilities and opportunities, but they're not on the same page. You start in the second half. There's a 5-man box. You need to be able to run it. But these safeties aren't afraid. At the snap, both of them are coming downhill. It's really turning into a 7-man box. That means you have one-on-one to the boundary. Listen, your receivers got it. When you have one-on-one, your receivers got to threaten your DBs, and you got to give it to them, because if you make one man miss, that's a touchdown. You have to be aggressive. You have to get it to your receivers, and your receivers have to put fear in DBs. Right now, they're not.
Maybe Tennessee going back home and playing their first game at Neyland Stadium in over a month, a little home cooking might do good for them. Meanwhile, everything is fried down there at the State Fair of Texas, Tim. stay away from it. I know the custom suit is already a snug fit, brother.
I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best.
Right.
I know it's hard, but I'll get y'all some fried Oreos and bring it back, okay?
No, we're all set. We had some yesterday, and that's good. We're good for the year.
Yeah.
Tim, 10 a.m. Eastern, SEC Nation on SEC Network. Tim, much appreciated.